Alrighty, I'm here to talk about Captain America Brave New World. So, Brave New World is a new Captain America movie, but there is a catch. The Captain America in this film is not Steve Rogers, but the mantle has passed on to Falcon. So now, Falcon, Anthony Mackie, needs to take up the mantle of Captain America and face new threats, including the leader. That's pretty much the plot of this film. Now, the first thing that stood out to me about this film is the political feel of the movie overall. When you saw the trailers, you can really see how they're trying to imitate the feel, the vibe of Captain America Winter Soldier. And to some degree, it does work. It really does. When it gets political, you feel the stakes, between the US versus Japan. That is the political theme, the political threat of this film. But that is not the only thing that is at stake here. There is also the leader, the main villain of the movie. For those of you who don't know who the leader is, he is basically a Hulk villain. And he made his debut way back to the days of Edward Norton's Hulk. When I learned that he was gonna be the villain of this film, I immediately thought to myself, well, this is gonna be a Captain America-centric narrative, right? So, what is he doing here? And after watching the film, I really didn't know why they chose to pick the leader as the main villain, because, as I mentioned before, Captain America doesn't necessarily need to fight the leader because he is originally the villain for Hulk. As for the performances with the leader himself, played by Tim Blake Nelson, I thought he was menacing. He has a little screen time here and there, but his performance overall was menacing. What I didn't like though is his design. Why is his design not comic accurate? In the comics, he looks like this, but in the movie, he looks entirely different. Now, why is that? Well, that is because of the chaotic reshoots of this film. But that's it for the villain. Now, let's talk about the main man, the main Captain America from here on out, and that is Falcon. Me myself, I don't have any problem with the idea of Falcon taking up the mantle of Captain America. But as if now, I really don't see him as the leader, the one who eventually leads the Avengers. I really didn't get that vibe, that aura that the leader needs. And I know this is his first film as Captain America, and maybe his arc progress throughout the next movies, the next two Avengers movies. But at this point, I just don't see him as the leader, at least not yet. But then, there is another character, the Falcon, a new version of Falcon. And from the moment he shows up on screen, I knew immediately that his goal, his objective, why is he here, is trying to give you these jokes. And some of the jokes land, but some of them does not. They just go downright cringe. It really distracts you from the overall tone of this gritty political thriller. And I don't think this character, this new Falcon character, really ruins the film, but it really does get on my nerves a little bit. So, well, there is a big gigantic plot twist at the end, right? with President Ross turning into Red Hulk. And with that, I will first talk about Harrison Ford's performance as Ross. I thought he was perfect. He clocks into work. Well, you see his previous movies like the Indiana Jones and the Day of Destiny, you really do not see him clocking to work in that film. But that is a different case with this film. He really embodies Ross. I think maybe he's even better than the previous version of Ross that we got. And when he turns red, when he turns angry, his face really is menacing as the Red Hulk. Now, my only complaint with the Red Hulk, although the fight was entertaining, I kinda wish that they kept out Red Hulk from the entire marketing. Would you imagine if you really didn't know that Red Hulk was gonna be in this film, but you walk into the theater expecting something, and by the end, the final surprising boss fight, Red Hulk shows up and destroys everything. That would have made the impact way more impactful, and you, as an audience, are shocked by his appearance, his fights. It's really that great. Let's talk about the action. Man, as I mentioned before, this film tries to capture the feel of Winter Soldier, Captain America and Winter Soldier. And in terms of the fights, well, these fights in this film really falls flat. First of all, the hand-to-hand combat is just like a demonstration. There's no heavy hitting punches. You cannot really feel the weight of the punches, the kicks, and everything. When your character is in pain, you can't really feel that because the action sequences, particularly the hand-to-hand combat here, really falls flat. Thank goodness though, we have the action sequences on the sky. And in that regard, I can really compliment this film because they really try to give you this intense action scenes on the sky, and when that happens, it puts you on the edge of your seat. But in terms of practical action and really hand-to-hand combats, this film really falls flat when you compare it to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Also, there is another surprising character, kind of a small villain played by Giancarlo Esposito, who is here only for 3 scenes. And if you are hoping for Giancarlo Esposito to steal the scene, well, his performance was good. But if you really remove his character from the entirety of the narrative, it would not change anything at all. And that's why? Because he was a part of the reshoots. And with that, I will give Captain America Brave New World a standard 6 out of 10. Yes, I went into this film with, maintaining my expectation as modest as it could be, because the trailers really hyped me up, but deep down, I know that this film wasn't really gonna be that good, and my guess is right. So, tame your expectation for this one, 6 out of 10. It could have been better. This is not the worst Marvel movie ever, not in the Phase 5, no. There are some shit that are worse than this, but when you compare this to the previous Captain America trilogy, it really doesn't live up. Tell me everything in the comment section, and see you on the next video.